How to get a business loan for a gas station without having to put any collateral, without hard credit checks, and even get this, without interest rates. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be getting into that and so much more in this video. My name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions, and I will cover everything you need to know about starting and even growing and expanding and even getting out of a tight pinch within your gas station. But before that, if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with content like this on all types of small business loans, building business credit the right way, taking advantage of different opportunities as they come, and so much more. So if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon right next to it so you do not miss any future videos I come out with. Now, let's get right into this. What options are on the table for your gas station? Well, it depends on the use of your funds is one thing. You may have things you need for new equipment. You're building it from the ground up. You need to replace something, some type of a convenience store you have within it. You need to buy equipment for outside in the gas station, the pump, something's happening. You need things for your inventory that you have going on, payroll, marketing, perhaps advertising. That list can vary, and I haven't even touched the surface on it. But you're asking, okay, I may have bad credit. Maybe you don't. So I'm going to give you these options right now. So to get a business loan for your gas station, like I said, what are the use of funds? It helps me understand a little bit more about whether it's going to be a short, medium, or long-term solution. So based off of that question, for example, you're expanding. Now, that expansion project or those projects may tell me a little bit about whether, okay, it would make sense to do a shorter, a mid-size, or a longer term. And so what you're expecting are what's called business term loans. And then there are SBA loans. There are traditional bank loans. We know you can't always get those traditional ones. Maybe you've been denied time and time again. You can't reach through your savings account and you can't turn to your friends and family for help anymore. But the great thing is there's these alternatives. You can go for an SBA type of loan. There's the SBA 7As. We all know about the EIDLs. As the time that I'm making this video, the applications for all that has been closed as of December 31st. And then the targeted advance isn't open at the time of making this, as well as PPP, as well as like grants are open, but they come and they go. So SBA 7A loans, you have SBA 504 CDCs. SBA 7As can help with your expansion project, especially if it's a long-term one you have, something that you maybe are requesting a lot more for. And it makes sense to give you that amount of time. You can use it for growth. You can use it for buying equipment, any working capital purposes. Some forms of real estate, not entirely, but that's what the 504 program is. So if you're building a gas station from the ground up, you can use that to get this land and then build this building on top of it and so forth. You can move from there. I won't get too specific into that, and I'll leave content into the SBA 7A 504 and where to go from there down below in the description. But aside from that, you have business term loans. There's unsecured and secured. Unsecured meaning it's not collateralized. And then you guessed it, secured is collateralized. So with secured, you would have to put something up front, some kind of equity you have, maybe some type of real estate. You have something else you would forego in exchange for getting the funding. But that's one thing a lot of people do. Doesn't happen all the time. So people prefer the unsecured way where you don't have to give up any kind of collateral, right? And in return, you get the funding you need, and it's a lump sum of it. Right? You get a lump sum of this and you're expected to pay it back in a certain amount of time. And these can be short, medium, or long. And it all depends on what the funds are being used for, that we take that into consideration. Just because you believe you need these 5 years, doesn't necessarily mean that's what we'll give you. And depending on what you need it for, it may be much more of a shorter term. I speak to business owners on a daily basis, which, by the way, if you need help getting a more personalized and customized approach, stop going to these online marketplaces that just keep spamming you. Get your information and send it everywhere. They might have some good programs, best, but not all the time. They don't have everybody that's the best. So you're not getting the best offer or offers. And you finally want to get a more customized approach from somebody who really cares about you more than just on a business level. I really take the time to get to know people on that personal aspect. You're not just a transaction to me at all. In fact, I spent a lot of time doing this. I've been getting people on phone calls at like 11 because they want to speak with me, and I'm open to that. I'm like, yeah, let's talk. And then so much more. So I'll have a funding submission form you can fill out down below in the description. Fill out some simple funding details. Get a hold of me. It comes through email. And then I will email you back with all your options or your option, the best one, how it all works, qualifications, the application. I go the extra mile, right? And I show you how it all works with video content, blog content, what to expect, everything, break it down into numbers. So that again will be down below. For business, I have it for real estate and more. But you have these business term loans. Short term, usually 4 to 6 months. You can do 4 to 24 months. And I'm going to show you a program that I highly recommend you look at. And even if you have bad credit, this will help you very well. Even if you have good credit, this will be very well too. But it opens up doors for you if you have a better FICO credit score usually. And if you, usually we look at FICO credit scores. We can take business credit into account with creditworthiness, depending on the type of program. Sometimes it's just FICO driven. So it's very important for you to build business credit. If you haven't built any of that, then check out my free video series on building business credit the right way down below in the description. You can pick up again for free. Won't hurt you at all. And it can show you how you can get access to over $250,000 in funding that's not tied to your social security number or your personal FICO credit score, and so much more. And where to go, how to build these trade lines, and so much more, and why that's very important. But with these programs in mind, you can be given 4 to 6 months, even 4 to 24 months in that short-term frame. Sometimes up to 18 months is generally what you see a lot in this industry, with a lot of people being given. These can vary upon daily, sometimes weekly. And I know maybe you're thinking, I want more of a monthly thing. And there are those options for unsecured business term loans, specifically when you go longer. But it's not always an option. And sometimes if it is, it's not what you need. It doesn't make sense to do that. Why would we give you a monthly payment when the use of funds is for this, and you actually need this amount of time? Your credit score isn't where it needs to be. The amount of revenue, the time in business, with a few other things in the background, it doesn't make sense. And I get that. So we move from a daily into a weekly by building the relationship up with the lender or the lenders. And that's what I've done. It's no different. You've never gone funding online, and this is the option. You take it, and then you go move into a weekly that they could trust you. You build that relationship, boom, they give you more access. They give you benefits you wouldn't even have thought of. But there are those monthly ones as well. It just has to all make sense, the numbers and everything that I look at. But you have those on the table. You have like that 4 to 24 month frame. You have like 2 to 5 years with the medium type of a business term loan. And then you have a long-term one, which can be like 5 to 10 plus years is kind of what you see with those. And then if you can account the SBA type, those are like longer term. But you have that, you have a business line of credit. A business line of credit is where you can get approved for a certain amount. Let's say you get approved for 80,000, but you don't want to use it all up at once. So you just take out, for example, 10,000 one season or at one time, and you use it. Now, you only pay interest on that. You get a withdrawal fee. You don't get withdrawal fees unless it's a long-term thing you want to keep. You can do this kind of like monthly fee. It's a low monthly fee to keep it. But you get this withdrawal fee, principal plus the interest. And then we calculate, usually it's like 6, 9, or 12 months for the most part. Sometimes it can go more, but a lot of the time you see up to 12 months. 600 FICO credit score is what's usually required in that. But I have a program I'm going to show you can start with 550. It's really nice, but there's always a minimum to amounts you should have coming in, which is like 10,000 plus per month within each of the last 3 months to get one. And again, I'm going to show you some other qualifications. But that's a line of credit. You can use it whenever you need to, pay it off, goes back into your account as a revolving line, and it comes back to your full 80,000. So it doesn't become 80 to 70. It stays at 80 once you pay that 10,000 off, right? It goes back into the original amount, and you can always ask for an increase if it makes sense. But that's different than getting a lump sum. And there are these business term loans, short-term loans, sometimes would call them a merchant cash advance. And I'm going to be getting into that in a moment, but that's where you're taking away a future percentage of your credit card receivables and even debit card sales. So on a low day on sales, you get taken out less. On a higher day, you probably get taken out more. And it can fluctuate from time to time. But we have a hybrid program that I'm going to introduce to you if you haven't seen, to help your gas station get everything situated and up and running with bad credit. Even if you have good credit, this is an amazing option to look at. But there are also out there personal loans, equipment financing type of loans, right? Those will be helpful for you, and I'll briefly touch upon that, but those are some of the options. Now, let me get into the share screen and go through a program that is going to be very helpful. But before that, here is the funding submission form you can fill out down below in the description. This is my company, Viral Funding Solutions. You can learn more about us if you wish. I'll leave the name of the website down below so you can view and get free content and get in touch. But that's the case. Now, we have this company here. Before I get into this, you can get up to 2 million incredibly fast funding for your gas station. And we can get you approved within a day, funds deposited within a day to two, as much as a week, depending on your profile and what we need, how much time it may take, what extra documents we may, but it's very minimal. It's a very fast one-page application. Usually it can be DocuSign. At times it's just really fast for you to just fill out, submit it back. We can look through it and give you an offer as fast as possible. I have content on this down below in the description, video, blog post stuff. You can learn more about David Allen Capital, link here. But these are no interest rates. And what we mean by that is this total payback, generally less confusing, and it's generally 50% less expensive than everything else you'd see out there, especially if you're doing longer terms. That wouldn't make sense because you're paying on more interest. You may have an early pay discount, but you don't know, but you're paying up too much and it might be more costly. And so these shorter terms may be the best way to go. And again, they usually can offer daily, sometimes weekly. You can start off weekly depending on your revenue and the things you applied with, but not everybody gets that. You can get daily and then you move into weekly, which is a best benefit. Again, it's all about building the relationship up. And I'm going to show you everything, again, once you fill out that funding submission form, how it all makes sense. I know right now it might not be, and I have content that I made on that, like daily, weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly, and like what your expectations are and why this is happening the way it is. And then there are instances where you may qualify for monthly, and we just go from there. But even if you did, like I said, it might not make the most sense for everything considered, costs, unwanted interests, type of funding being used for, and so much more. And that's stuff that I talk about with people on a daily basis. So we have this David Allen Capital program. We even have up to 25,000 same-day instant approval funding here with Bank Breezy underneath David Allen Capital. So we have an up to 2 million program, and then we have an up to 25K, different qualifications. For the up to 25K same-day instant approval, 5,000 plus monthly bank revenue, have a business checking account, 6+ months in business, a 450 plus FICO credit score. All industries are welcome. Payment history will earn you more. Receive funds time and time again. Add-on funds are available. You get a personalized account manager. So in the case you didn't get everything you needed, like I tell business owners, take what you can get. It's also built on a relationship. Prove you can pay. If you pay up to like 50% of it, we can try to refinance it right away, give you more funds if you need them, come back, receive more, get to your income goal that you're trying to reach for the funding amount. If that makes sense. If the benefit exceeds the repayment, then you move forward with it. But a lot of this content, I'll educate you guys and I'll leave more of it down below. You can even get the line of credit program here. Where you can get between at the moment 5,000 to 100,000. Receive a decision in as little as 1 to 2 business days, requiring only a soft credit pull. All these are soft credit pull, by the way. They won't hurt, so it's worth your time. As low as a 500 FICO credit score. And again, you can withdraw the money and use it whenever you need to. Receive approval up to 100K, take the funds out as you need them, automatic weekly repayment, new draws, and revolving limits. So there are other programs out there, but this is one of my #1 recommended places to come to. And this is some kind of qualifications, as you can see on the screen. I won't go into them specifically, but 15K, 1+ years in business, and there are a few other things in there, anywhere in the US. And if you're not in the US, maybe Puerto Rico, Canada, and a few of those other ones, I'll have some information for that down below. But view these programs. They're very well worth your time. And just to leave this on a note, on this note, I have this free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist you can pick up down below in the description that will thoroughly walk you and show you what you must know before you walk into an application with 110% confidence and certainty. You will be approved without wasting days, weeks, months, and even years of sifting through old, outdated information that just does not work. Not going to help, not going to be in the best interest of building your gas station, growing it, and expanding it long term. So this is up to date. This is everything you need. It'll be down there, as well as fill out this funding submission form like I've shown you. That'll look like this more or less. Will be one of the fastest ways to get a hold of me. Do this. It'll be very nice and organized. I'll get a hold of you via text. If I sent you an email, this is the email to look out for. I'm not harassing, calling. But if you're very serious about this, then do it. If you're not, don't waste my energy and my time, as well as yours, as I tell everybody else. And it's not me being hard. It's just me being realistic about all this. Like I do this and I personalize and I take time to make these emails very nicely. So please do it if it's going to benefit you. And so that'll all be down below in the description, as well as the content to David Allen Capital, as well as other programs and what to expect and how to help your gas station. If you have any questions, again, leave them for me down below in the description. If you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I will be coming out with. Talk to you soon.